What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna watch another delusional segment here from Stephen A. Smith. He sat down with Dave Rubin. This is just a small little part of the hour-long conversation that they had. And once again, this guy never fails to disappoint. Filled with delusion and also highly entertaining. Let's not waste any time at all and get straight into it.
So with that in mind, did you, as you've been more outspoken on the political stuff, say in the last 8 months or so, especially pre-election, any relationships break in your life?
No,
not coming from your side, but coming from somebody else?
Well, I would say to you, I wouldn't say there have been no relationship breaks. I would tell you that there are contemporaries that have muttered about me behind my back thinking I don't know. And, they called me a Trump supporter, even though I didn't vote for Trump. They called me a pawn. I mean, black people calling me a sellout or a coon because I get along with a few conservatives or whatever. They kept forgetting I've always been a registered independent. There are Republicans that I have voted for in the past, and there are Republicans I will vote for again. There are certain policies that I don't like, and I'll speak out about that based on what they are. And there are certain policies that I support, and I'm not going to look at it the way that they want me to look at it. And then you have people in the world of sports. A Steve Kerr, for example, coach of the Golden State Warriors, a Greg Popovich, a head coach of the San Antonio Spurs.
Pop's done a lot of damage, I think.
To what?
To sports, to basketball.
You can make that argument.
Yeah.
I think I saw Patrick Bet-David making that argument.
Yeah.
Very valid. And I texted him. I said, very, very valid, because the NBA is a business. And as Michael Jordan once said, Republicans buy sneakers too. And so when you look at it and you see a guy speaking so adamantly, you can speak against Trump. Fine. But you need to understand that you went a bit further than that, and you were speaking against Trump supporters.
Yeah, white
and how dare those people support Trump? Well, wait a minute, you're crossing the line, because listen, I sit across from Sean Hannity, right? Sean Hannity, he'll sit there and tell you I'm a conservative, right? Because of some of the views that I have. Yeah. And he'll get on there. He's the only guy that you could do an interview with on your show, and he talks more than you. I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, he doesn't give you a chance to finish a question. He's crazy, right? But I love him. Yeah. But here's the deal. When he says it's the economy, stupid, he's right. When he says national security should be a priority, he's right. When he says our borders should not be open, he's right. He's right. So I pride myself in being a fiscal conservative and a social liberal.
Yeah. Then why vote for Kamala Harris? Why vote for, if you agree on all of these things and they are priority, why vote for Kamala Harris? This guy doesn't make sense to me sometimes.
I don't care what you're doing. LGBTQ community, I support all of their rights. But don't tell me that that includes you transitioning from a man to a woman and going up and playing in women's sports, like boxing in the Olympics, where this girl gets her face beat in and she quits and she says, I've never been hit that hard in my life. And you're telling me that testosterone levels or whatever it is didn't measure up to, and then people are going off on Megyn Kelly. And I'm like, Megyn Kelly's not wrong.
She's actually taking the feminist position.
She's actually taking a feminist position. But here's where you can push back on the liberals. You know, years ago, y'all got on us. Now, obviously, it might have been issues involving domestic violence and other things where women were drastically affected. It might have been inequities in the workplace in corporate America. It might have been, women's salaries compared to what men would get paid and all of this other stuff. All of that's true. Women. You want us to fight on women's behalf. But she's pointing out how a woman got beat up in the boxing ring in the Olympics by somebody that everybody believed and ultimately was proven DNA-wise was a male. Yeah. And she's the villain for pointing that out? How? If you want me to go up against a Dave Rubin or Megyn Kelly or somebody, could you come up with a better example? Because I'm not disagreeing with them about that. That makes no sense.
Right.
And so for me, when I see that and we get to a point where we're not even thinking about the issues. We're thinking party and we're thinking ideology. And we just want to shove aside the facts. I'm not down with that. I'm going to listen to the people that have the facts, and I'm going to say, okay, who's right? Wow. Who's wrong? on a case-by-case basis, and I move forward.
So when you hear a Pop or a Steve Kerr or one of these guys, and it doesn't even matter what the issue is, but when you hear one of these guys doing politics, my audience knows, I love basketball as much as you love basketball. I played my entire life. Told you that ball's from a 91 Blazers game right behind me. Right. Like, I have a court here. Like, I play constantly. I love it. But I don't watch games much anymore because it became so political. And it's less now, but at the height of COVID and the BLM stuff, every time I turned on ESPN or every time I turned on TNT particularly, it was just like racism, this, that, all these other things. And I was like, this is not why I watch basketball. And I basically, if you look at my YouTube thing when I'm doing cardio, I watch old 90s games. I'm watching all the old Bulls games, basically. Do you worry at all that politics has become, or that sports has become too infected by that, and that it's going to be tough to ever fully separate those things?
I would say that you have to worry about it if the numbers show that it's affecting the product and the support of the product. It's popular to say that the ratings have dipped. ESPN did Christmas Day games. We were up over 48%. We had over 5 million viewers averaged. They want to say it's the highest ratings we've had in 5 years. They want to turn around and say, compared to the NFL. Well, nothing compares to the NFL in America. NFL's king. Yeah. We get that. So they were on Netflix, 190 countries, but even in the United States, you're going to watch football all day, every day before you watch basketball. Hell, I cover basketball and I watch football games before I cover basketball. Why? Because the basketball games are going to be there February and beyond because it's 82 games in the schedule. Every football game matters week to week for 17, 18 weeks. So they've turned their sport into an event. It's a priority and you get what you get. But as I said to the great one, Mark Levin, when he asked me the damn near the identical question to what you asked on his radio show a few months ago, I said, because he was complaining about Colin Kaepernick, but Colin Kaepernick took a knee. I said, Mark, with all due respect, you don't think that's an overreaction? And he was like, why would you say that? And I said, it was before the game. Did it stop the kickoff from happening? Did it interfere with the 60 minutes that you came to watch? No. So sometimes I do believe there are people that have overreacted to the protests and stuff like that took place. I'm not throwing any shade on who I'm about to mention. We made so much noise about Colin Kaepernick. Do you know before that, Marshawn Lynch was seen on numerous occasions sitting on a cooler eating a banana while the national anthem was being played? No one said a word. So we're picking and choosing what to do. I called Trump out during that time. Why did I call Trump out? To other people, it was politics. To me, it wasn't. I knew Donald Trump. I got a call from Donald Trump. In 2014, he wanted to buy the Buffalo Bills. The price tag was $1.4 billion. I was later told that he only had about 1.1. He wanted to purchase the Buffalo Bills, and the NFL was getting in his way. And his exact words, excuse my language, but we're here on the podcast. It's not FCC airwaves. And Donald Trump said, if them motherfuckers get in my way, I'm going to get them all back. I'm going to run for president. Those are his exact words. And I've told that to everybody who would listen. I said, he warned us. And then the NFL would joke around and say, so it's our fault. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. You see what I'm saying? Because he wanted to become on. And so what did that have to do with Colin Kaepernick? Remember, the Supreme Court okayed sports gaming and gambling in the world of sports outside of Vegas. And so you saw states' rights coming into play. The politicians saw an opportunity, the owners for the NFL team saw an opportunity to profit off of this. If you got less than 1%, less than 0.5% of the sports gaming industry, that equates to billions. Trump knew it. And he made life incredibly uncomfortable for all of them. And at that moment, they're thinking about Colin Kaepernick, and it's like, wait a minute here. You had, at that time, go back to like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. The owners were giving their profits from the television deal, each of them $246 million plus. Each of them. Do you know some of them were still complaining about Colin Kaepernick costing them about $10 million because the protests brought this kind of attention and it's affecting our product? They're thinking about the 10 million they lost, not the near 250 they gained in their pockets without that wasn't for the players. It wasn't something they could share. This was for their pockets, and they were getting it. So it gave you insight into what he knew about them, what they knew about themselves, and how they didn't want the overall brand affected. What I would say to you, what I would say to Mark and Sean Hannity and all of these guys was, Did it really have that kind of effect on you? Did it really, really mess with your willingness to watch the game? Because guess what? You didn't have to watch the national anthem. Sometimes, if we're being honest, we're going to the kitchen, we're getting our snacks before we sit down and watch kickoff. We ain't even watching the national anthem.
Yeah, there you have it, guys. We're going to stop it right there. And once again, Stephen A. proves to us that he is absolutely delusional, especially in the beginning part of the interview where he says it's the economy, stupid, and lays out all of the other issues like the border, the economy, inflation, crime, and all of these things had an effect on him. Or, you know, he realized that it had an effect on the country, but he still voted for Kamala Harris. It really just blows my mind. And in the other point, in a different part of this sit down he had with Ruben, he explained that he moved from New York or New Jersey to Florida because of the policies and the, you know, so-called Democrat politicians that were running those cities. It doesn't make any sense. You voted for these people and you're leaving because of how they ran the city to the ground, and then you left to go to Florida and you're still voted for the same party that Kamala Harris is a part of, the Democrats. Am I the only one here losing my mind? So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the content. Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.